For by your strength you brought up the people from among them, and they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land. They have heard that you, Lord, are among these people, that you, Lord, are seen face to face while your cloud stands over them, and that you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if you kill these people as one man, then the nations or Gentiles that have heard of your fame will say, because the Lord was not able to bring these people into the land which he promised to give them, therefore he slaughtered them in the wilderness. But now, please, let the power of the Lord be great, as you have declared, saying, the Lord is slow to anger and abundant in loving kindness, forgiving wickedness and transgression. But he will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the wickedness and guilt of the fathers on the children, to the third and fourth generation, that is, calling the children to account for the sins of their fathers. Please pardon the wickedness and guilt of these people according to the greatness of your loving kindness, just as you have forgiven these people from Egypt even until now. Moses changed his mind, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the Lord said, I have pardoned them according to your word. But indeed, as I live, all the earth will be filled with the glory of the Lord. Surely all the men who have seen my glory and my miraculous signs, which I performed in Egypt and in the wilderness, yet have put me to the test these 10 times and have not listened to my voice, will by no means see the land which I swore to give to their fathers, nor will any who treated me disrespectfully and rejected me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit and has followed me fully, I will bring into the land into which he entered, and his descendants shall take possession of it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites live in the valley. Tomorrow turn and set out for the wilderness by way of the Red Sea. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, how long shall I put up with this evil congregation who murmur in discontent against me? I have heard the complaints of the Israelites, which they are making against me. Say to them, as I live, says the Lord, just what you have spoken in my hearing, I will most certainly do to you. Your dead bodies will fall in this wilderness, even all who were numbered of you, your entire number from 20 years old and upward, who have murmured against me. Except for Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun, not one of you shall enter the land in which I swore an oath to settle you. But your children whom you said, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time reading tonight, y'all. Pray for me. Right, Andrew? He did. He went from being this meek, scared man to a big leader, but he fought it along the way, too. But your children whom you said would become plunder, I will bring in, and they will know the land which you have despised and rejected. But as for you, your dead bodies will fall into the wilderness. Your sons shall be wanderers and shepherds in the wilderness for 40 years, and they will suffer for your unfaithfulness until your corpses are consumed in the wilderness. According to the number of days in which you spied out the land of Canaan, 40 days, for each day you shall bear and suffer a year for your sin and guilt. See, I don't remember reading this, so that's nice to know. They went in and they scouted it out for 40 days, and so that's why they wandered the wilderness for 40 years. See, every time I open this Bible, I learn something new. Let me find where I was at. And you shall know my displeasure, the revoking of my promise and my estrangement because of your sin. I, the Lord, have spoken. I will most certainly do this to all this evil congregation who are gathered together against me. In this wilderness they shall be consumed by war, disease, and plagues, and here they shall die. As for the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land, and who returned and made all the congregation murmur and complain against him by bringing back a bad report concerning the land, Even those 10 men who brought back the very bad report of the land died by a plague before the Lord. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh remained alive out of those men who went to spy out the land. Moses spoke the Lord's words to all the Israelites, and the people mourned greatly. They're mourning, but yet they're the reason for the cause. I mean, they didn't have to, throw a fit like a toddler, but they did. They got up early in the morning and went to the ridge of the hill country, saying, "Look, here we are. We have indeed sinned, but we will go up to the place which the Lord has promised." But Moses said, "Why then are you transgressing the commandment of the Lord when it will not succeed? Do not go up, or you will be struck down before your enemies, for the Lord is not among you. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites will be there in front of you, and you will fall by the sword, because you have turned away from following the Lord. Therefore the Lord will not be with you." But in their arrogance they dared to go up to the ridge of the hill country. However, neither the ark of the covenant of the Lord nor Moses left the camp. Then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in that hill country came down and struck the Israelites and scattered them as far as Hormah. I don't know how to say that. Chapter 15. Now the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you come into the land where you are to live, which I am giving you, then make an offering by fire to the Lord, a burnt offering or a sacrifice to fulfill a special vow, or as a free will offering, or in your appointed feast, to make a sweet and soothing aroma to the Lord from the herd or from the flock. The one who presents his offering shall present to the Lord a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil. And you shall prepare wine for the drink offering, 1/4 of a hin with the burnt offering, or for the sacrifice for each lamb. Or for a ram you shall prepare as a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil. And for the drink offering you shall offer 1/3 of a hin of wine as a sweet and soothing aroma to the Lord. When you prepare a bull as a burnt offering or as a sacrifice in fulfilling a special vow or peace offering to the Lord, then you shall offer with the bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/2 a hin of oil. And you shall bring as the drink offering 1/2 a hin of wine as an offering by fire, as a sweet and soothing aroma to the Lord. Thus shall it be done for each bull or for each ram, and for each of the male lambs or of the goats. According to the number that you prepare, so shall you do to everyone according to their number. All who are native born shall do these things in this way, in presenting an offering by fire as a sweet and soothing aroma to the Lord. If a stranger lives as a resident alien with you, or whoever may be among you throughout your generations, and he wishes to make an offering by fire as a sweet and soothing aroma to the Lord, just as you do, so shall he do. As for the assembly, there shall be one and the same statute for you of the congregation and for the stranger who is a resident alien with you. A permanent statute throughout your generations, as you are, so shall the stranger be before the Lord. There is to be one law and one ordinance for you and for the strangers who lives with you as a resident alien. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you enter the land to which I am bringing you, then when you eat the food of the land, you shall lift up an heave offering to the Lord. You shall lift up a cake made of the first of your ground grain, which has been made into dough, as an offering to the Lord. As an offering from the threshing floor, so shall you lift it up. From the first of your dough or ground grain you shall give to the Lord an offering throughout your generations. But when you unintentionally fail and do not observe all these commandments which the Lord has spoken to Moses, even all that the Lord has commanded you through Moses, from the day that the Lord gave commandments and onward throughout your generations, then it shall be, if it was done unintentionally without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one young bull as a burnt offering, as a sweet and soothing aroma to the Lord, with its grain offering and its drink offering according to the ordinance, and one male goat as a sin offering. Then the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the sons of Israel, and they will be forgiven. For it was an error, and they have brought their offering and an offering by fire to the Lord, and their sin offering before the Lord for their error. So all the congregation of the Israelites will be forgiven, as well as the strangers who live among them as resident aliens, because all the people were involved in the error. Also, if one person sins unintentionally, then he shall offer a female goat 1 year old as a sin offering. The priest shall make atonement before the Lord for the person who commits an error when he sins unintentionally, making atonement for him so that he may be forgiven. You shall have one law for him who sins unintentionally, whether he is native born among the Israelites or a stranger who is living among them as a resident alien. But the person who does anything wrong willfully and defiantly, whether he is a native born or a stranger, that one is blaspheming the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from among his people, excluding him from the atonement made for them, because he has despised and rejected the word of the Lord and has broken his commandment. That person shall be utterly cut off. The responsibility for his wickedness and guilt will be upon him. Now while the Israelites were in the wilderness, they found a man who was gathering wood on the Sabbath day. Those who found him gathering wood brought him to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation, and they put him in custody because he had not been explained by God what should be done to him. Then the Lord said to Moses, the man shall certainly be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp. So all the congregation. So they found him in the woods. That one's I'm a little bit, we are in chapter 15, verse 33. I'm sorry, Numbers chapter 15, verse 33. Thank you, Deanna. I'm wondering, is he one of their people? Be careful, you'll get flagged. For what? What did I say? I already got in trouble last night on live. Stay put in drive. What? Say put to, oh, I say it all the time. I don't care if they flag me. Yeah, we got warned last night, but it wasn't even over this. It was over a COVID conversation we had. So, I don't even care. I've got a backup account. So they can flag me if they want to. I'm going to read it as it is. I'm not going to say unalived. That's so silly that they would even put that on there. You know, the moment we start allowing them to tell us how to read the Bible, they got him for his AC running. They don't like that. Yeah, no, they don't. I'm bouncing around without my glasses and can't spell. You're good, Andrew. You got flagged for your AC running, though? What was that? Like, I don't know. Who said that? Yeah, I agree. Oh, they thought his AC was playing a song. Okay. Can y'all hear my AC? Oh my goodness, Andrew, that's crazy. That's what I'm saying, like, you know, but we have other platforms too. If we have to jump over, I have a channel on YouTube. I have a channel there. I have a channel on Lemon 8, I think, is the other one. I don't know if you can do lives on that, though. But I don't have Instagram, but I could get it if I had to. But I don't care. TikTok's not going to dictate how I read the Bible. For sure. I have honestly never tried to go live on YouTube, but I have a few followers, so or subscribers. I've had that channel for years. I don't know. I'm assuming it'll let me go live. But I'm not worried about it. We'll get the word out there one way or another. Even if we got to start playing in a big old Zoom call. Instagram does lives, I think. That's right, Andrew. No, I got flagged last night. Lee got flagged and Deanna got flagged when we were talking about, COVID, and I thought it was so silly. We got flagged for misinformation, so it was somebody in our comments that flagged it. That's right, Stephanie. Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, that's just silly to me. I'm not going to get into that whole conversation again, but, I have medical training. The person that was on the live with us also is still in the medical field. And we were just talking about what our friends as doctors and nurses were saying during that time. I mean, it's just silly that it got flagged. But I don't care. I ain't scared. We don't play about our Bible or Jesus or God, and I'm not going to bow down to them and let them dictate how I read it. I'm going to read it as it says it. I'm in Louisiana right now, but I live in Arkansas. I only bow to God. That's exactly right. How far back do I need to go to hear the Cup Boys say Roll Tide? I don't know. I do have a southern twang. I know. Y'all think I'm bad, though. You should hear my daughter. Well, some of y'all have. Yes, Andrew. I drive from Arkansas to Louisiana for good service. I have better service at home in the mountains than I do over here in my RV. This little RV park, I don't think they've got great service over this way anyways, but every day for us. That's right, Nikki. A 6.5 hour drive here and a 6.5 hour drive back. If that ain't dedication, I don't know what is. Cajun honey, you are hilarious, ma'am. I love your accent, but you have one. I don't know. I have a mixture, I think. I was partially raised in Northeast Tennessee and then partially in Arkansas. So I think I've got a little bit of a mixture. I do. I love Cajun honey's accent. Okay. Man, we got a lot of family up in here from Texas. You, Nikki, Deanna. I don't know who else. I don't know if there's anybody else from Texas, but what part of Texas do you live in? Oh, Kyla's from Texas too. That's right. West Texas? Okay. North or south? Or in the middle? Yeah, Miss Torchy too. I forgot she's in the... Okay. So I think all of y'all are actually North Texas. I know Nikki's Northeast. Deanna's like North Middle Texas. And then you're Northwest. And I believe Torchy's Northeast as well. Yes, Deanna's in Texas too. Yep. Brandon, oh, you and Cassandra are in West Texas as well? That's awesome. Got a lot of Texas family up in here. That's right. Unky Monkey, Ricky Mo, they're from Texas as well. And me too, Steph. I'm in the South. Don't leave me out. I'm Southern. A big old Texas trip, yeah. Well, I know that they were talking about everybody trying to get together and see Miss Torchy. All Pawpaw's friends, that's right. I think I'm the only one, well, besides my mother when she jumps in here, I'm the only Arkansan. So I gotta hold it down for Arkansas, y'all. Hopefully, one of these days, you know, you guys can all come to my neck of the woods. Believe it or not, we got some beautiful mountains in Arkansas. That's right. You're in Central. That's right, Ashley. I remember you telling me that. I must be the farthest east, North Carolina. You're not the farthest east, though, Tammy. So, I believe that Britt's Maryland. Yeah, Britt's Maryland. And isn't Dawn also in Maryland? Or up... She's either Maryland or Pennsylvania. Mandy's in South Carolina, yep. New Hampshire, thank you, Deanna. I knew it was over there somewhere. So she's the most far northeast in New Hampshire. I don't know if Dawn's in here or not. I need more Bama folks in there. I mean, we're close, we're cousins. Arkansas and Alabama. We ain't far. You think you need more Alabama? Where's all the rest of my Arkansas people? I can claim Lee because I grew up partially in Tennessee. Y'all probably related. Actually, my mother is from Illinois. My mother's a Yankee. So when y'all talk to her next, even though she's got this country accent, y'all can give her a hard time because when she was 6 or 7, they moved from Illinois, Decatur, Illinois. Or maybe they were in Joliet, Illinois to Arkansas. But my dad's originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. So we are from all over. Yeah. Well, I claim Tennessee too, Lee. I grew up there from the time that I was 2 till I was 15 or 16. And then we moved back to Arkansas. So, but yeah, I love Tennessee. I love being in the Smoky Mountains. I have family that still lives there. Right? If you're kin to any of the Millers over in Rocky Top, Tennessee, then we are, Lee. I'm kin to all the Millers over there, it seems like. Yep. Millers. I got family over in Oak Ridge, Rocky Top, Jacksonville, Jacksboro. All up in there, girl. Uh-oh. Is he from over in, let's see, what is that? I'm trying to remember the county. Starts with an A. Darn it. I can't remember that county, but I'm telling you. Etowah, I think. Anderson County is what I was trying to think of. So Anderson County, Tennessee is where all of my family pretty much lives. You got Oak Ridge, Clinton, Rocky Top, and then Jacksboro isn't too far down the road, and then Jacksonville, Tennessee. So we're all up in there, and it's the Millers. That's what I was thinking. Britt is funny, yes. Yeah, you have to ask your husband if his stepdad has any family members over in Rocky Top. Yeah. Yeah, Oak Ridge isn't too far. That's funny because, you know, like I said, all the Millers that I know over that way, I am related to, so. Oh, my honey's on here, you guys. Y'all keep him in your prayers, please. He had to deliver some parts down in Texas today, in Columbus. And so he had to drive 4.5 hours there. You don't like Rocky Top, Tennessee, Andrew? And he's got to drive 4.5 hours back, so he won't be back here till like 12 o'clock tonight. So keep him in your prayers, please. I'm going to start singing Rocky Top, Tennessee, Andrew. Keep it up. You don't want to hear that either, I promise you. All right. I'm going to have to figure out where I was because I have no idea. I think we're going to finish off 15 and maybe... Ooh, 16 looks a little long. We'll do 16 and then after that we'll jump on trivia. Hey, Tanya. Let me see. Does anybody know what verse I left off in? I know we're in chapter 15. I think we're in verse 14. Maybe. Yeah. We're in verse 20-something. Was it? Oh, you're right. You are right. I think we are in... You are absolutely right. I was going to take us all the way back to verse 14. Yeah, we got distractedly. Okay. Oh, we're in the spot where they're talking about they stoned the man. Okay. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the sons of Israel and tell them, we're in verse 38, tell them to make for themselves tassels on the hems of their garments throughout their generations, and put a cord of blue on the tassel of each hem. It shall be a tassel for you to look at and remember all the commandments of the Lord, to do them, so that you do not follow after the desires of your own hearts and eyes, after which you used to follow and play the prostitute, so that you may remember to do all my commandments and be holy, or set apart to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God. Now we're in chapter 16. If you're just coming in, we're in Numbers chapter 16, verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, with Danath and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and on the son of Peleth, descendants of Reuben, took action, and they rose up in rebellion before Moses, together with some of the Israelites, 250 leaders of the congregation, chosen in the assembly, men of distinction. They assembled together against Moses and Aaron and said to them, "You have gone far enough, for all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Why then do you exalt yourselves above the assembly of the Lord?" And when Moses heard this, he fell face downward. And he spoke to Korah and his company, saying, "In the morning the Lord will show who belongs to him and who is holy, and he will bring him near to himself. The one whom he will choose, he will bring near to himself. Do this, take censers of yourselves, Korah and all your company, then put fire in them." I don't know if I said that word right. It says censers, maybe. Aw, that's nice. Then put the fire in them and place incense on them in the presence of the Lord tomorrow, and the man whom the Lord chooses shall be the one who is holy. You have gone far enough, you sons of Levi. Then Moses said to Korah, "Hear now, you sons of Levi, does it seem but a small thing to you that God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister to them? And that he has brought you near to him, Korah and all your brothers, sons of Levi, with you. Would you seek the priesthood also? Therefore you and all your company are gathered together against the Lord. But as for Aaron, who is he that you murmur against him?" Then Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, but they said defiantly, "We will not come up. It is a small thing that you have brought us up out of the land of plenty, flowing with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, but you would also lord it over us? Indeed, you have not brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey, nor given us an inheritance of fields and vineyards. Will you gouge out the eyes of these men? We will not come up." Then Moses became very angry and said to the Lord, "Pay no attention to their offering. I have not taken one donkey from them, nor have I harmed any one of them." Moses said to Korah, "You and all your company are to appear before the Lord tomorrow, both you and they, along with Aaron. Each of you take his censer and put incense on it, and each of you bring his censer before the Lord, 250 censers. Also you and Aaron shall each bring his censer." So they each took his own censer and put fire on it and laid incense on it, and they stood at the doorway of the tent of meeting with Moses and Aaron. Then Korah assembled all the congregation against Moses and Aaron at the doorway of the tent of meeting, and the glory and the brilliance of the Lord appeared to all the congregation. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "Separate yourselves from among the congregation, so that I may consume them immediately." But they fell on their faces before the Lord and said, "O God, God of the spirits of all flesh, when one man sins, will you be angry with the entire congregation?" Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Say to the congregation, get away from around the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." Then Moses arose and went to Dathan, Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he said to the congregation, "Get away from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, or you will be swept away in all their sin." So they got back from around the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the doorway of their tents with their wives and their sons and their little children. Then Moses said, "By this you shall know that the Lord has sent me to do all these works, for I do not act of my own accord. If these men die the common death of all mankind, or if what happens to everyone happens to them, then you will know for sure that the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord creates an entirely new thing, and the ground opens up its mouth and swallows them up, along with all that belongs to them, and they descend alive into Sheol, the netherworld, the place of the dead, then you will understand that these men have spurned and rejected the Lord. And as soon as Moses finished speaking all these words, the ground under them split open, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them and their households, and all the men who supported Korah with all their possessions. So they and all that belonged to them went down alive to Sheol, and the earth closed over them, and they perished from among the assembly. All Israel who were around them fled at their outcry, for they said, "The earth may swallow us also." Fire also came forth from the Lord and consumed the 250 men who were offering the incense. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Tell Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, that he is to pick up the censers from the midst of the blaze, for they are holy, and you scatter the burning coals abroad. As for the censers of these people who have sinned at the cost of their lives, have the censers made into hammered sheets as a plating for the altar of burnt offering, for they were presented before the Lord, and they are sacred. They shall be a warning sign to the sons of Israel." So Eleazar the priest took the bronze censers which the Levites who were burned and offered, and they were hammered out into broad sheets as a plating for the bronze altar of burnt offering, as a reminder to the sons of Israel, so that no layman, that is, one who is not of the descendants of Aaron, should approach to offer incense before the Lord, so that he will not become like Korah and his company, just as the Lord had said to him through Moses. Isn't that crazy, y'all? Because God had just finished setting apart the Levites as his people out of the people of Israel. And then they go and behave that way. And then he's got to smoke them all. All right, we are almost finished with chapter 16. We're on verse 41. But on the next day, the entire congregation of the Israelites murmured against Moses and Aaron, saying, "You have caused the death of the people of the Lord." When the congregation was assembled against Moses and Aaron, they turned and looked at the tent of meeting. And behold, the cloud covered it, and the glory and brilliance of the Lord appeared. Then Moses and Aaron came to the front of the tent of meeting, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Get away from among this congregation, so that I may consume them immediately." Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces in silence before the Lord. Moses said to Aaron, "Take a censer and put fire in it from the altar and lay incense on it. Then bring it quickly to the congregation and make atonement for them. For wrath has gone forth from the Lord, the plague has begun." So Aaron took the burning censer as Moses commanded, and ran into the midst of the assembly. And behold, the plague had already begun among the people. And he put on the incense and made atonement for the people. He stood between the dead and the living, so that the plague was brought to an end. But those who died in the plague were 14,700, besides those who died because of Korah. Then Aaron returned to Moses at the doorway of the tent of meeting, for the plague had been brought to an end. They're just bad kids, man. Like, doesn't that make you think of like teenagers? No matter how many times you gotta get on them, they still don't listen. Even if they know it's for their own good. Uh-oh, what I missed? Andrew being funny in here. Bebe's kids, that's right, Nikki. That's right. He was trying to tell them they didn't want the smoke, but he's been having to, that's why he gets tired of dealing with it too. And he's like, "God, why are you punishing me for these people's behavior? Like, they're not listening. They're bad kids." And that's what they act like, petulant, spoiled children. All right, since Heidi is driving,